Hi. We are here, everybody, for day 10 out of 10 for the CUNTY-fy Your Life live challenge. And these past 10 days have been nothing short of incredible, inspiring. I have gotten so much out of it, so much more than I even could for predict, right? When I decided to run this. I've been humbled. I've been just so grateful, honestly, is the main emotion. Just for you all taking time and energy out of your days and your busy lives and your businesses and everything that you have going on to come in here and share in this space. This was a dream and an idea that I had to cultivate this community and cultivate this energy for us, especially going into the winter, the fall. It's kind of like with the seasons changing, it's a weird time. There's things to love, but there's also some changes that are uncomfortable. And I also found out that eclipse season has something to do with this. So there's a lot going on, right? We're battling our own like changes and our own like struggles and all of these things, but yet we made time to come in here and share the space and be uplifted by each other and be held by each other. And that has meant so damn much to me to be able to lead this space and cultivate this space. So thank you so much. Today was supposed to be why for you authentically. And we flipped the script and we did authenticity yesterday because I was having a day yesterday and it was better and more aligned to talk about how to stay in our authenticity and show up authentically. Yesterday when I was in that weird energy, it was better to just show up like that than to not show up at all, or to try and be perfect, or try to soldier on with the plan that I had, and it wouldn't have hit the mark, right? But today we are doing transcendent instead, and it makes so much more sense today. I'm so excited to talk more about what we want out of our lives and out of our businesses, what's trying to get in the way, and how the fuck we are transcending those things. Okay, I'm so excited. All right. So the definition that I came across when I was creating the CUNTY model, I looked up the definitions of all the words because I'm like, I need to make sure that I'm on point with these words, okay? And even still, transcendent it's a very spiritual word. It is big in the spiritual community, but for me, it was more than that. It was a unshakable, undeniable commitment to yourself and to challenging yourself to exceed usual limitations. That's the definition that I found that I absolutely loved, is to exceed usual limitations. And for me, that hit so well because I have dealt with my fair share of limitations. I know we all do, as folks from marginalized and excluded communities, especially as entrepreneurs. There are ample limitations that either society places on us, or other entrepreneurs place on us, or we place on ourselves. That's a big one too. And even not in the entrepreneurial lens, even just in life in general, there are lots of limitations that can be placed upon us or that we take on. So it was so important to me in the CUNTY model that be involved, because it's imperative that we can exceed those and get past those in order to go for what we really truly want in our lives, in our businesses. So it also means to rise above something, which I think is also very related and very much in alignment, that often we have to rise above. You know how there's that saying, I don't know if it was Michelle Obama that said, like, when they go low, we go high. There's always this, like, this opportunity to know. Who is it, girl? Tell me. Tell me who it is.
No, it
Correct.
was Michelle Obama, but sometimes I don't know if I'm like Michelle. I want to go low too, Michelle,
Oh.
but
Okay, I feel you. I feel you. It depends. Like, we're not gonna go high all the time. Okay. If someone's straight up hating, then you can just block, delete. Like, we don't have to worry about that. But what I mean is mostly with ourselves, right? We can give ourselves the grace and compassion and love and say, I see you, limitations, and I'll let you have your moment right now, but we're gonna rise above you, and we're gonna keep going on this journey because we are worthy. That's what keeps coming up for me, and what have really gleaned in the past 24 to 48 hours, especially as we talked about authenticity, is we are enough. That's so, so important to keep remembering is we are enough as we are, and we can exceed limitations put upon us as we are. We don't have to put on some like fake, mask to be enough. We don't have to overcompensate to be enough. Hi, Debbie. We are enough as we are. So super important to say that. So what I want to ask you all is, what are your usual limitations? What are some things that get in your way, that try to trip you up or try to get you stuck? If you want to share with the class.
Oh, I am unmuted. Okay. Um, didn't even know. So I think, like, I was thinking about it, I jumped immediately to like kind of a physical, tangible limitation. And then I kind of stepped past that. And I think a limitation I have, like, that I experience often, I don't know if saying you have, but that I experience as having, is this constant kind of like anxiety, fear that, so I had a nervous breakdown in 2014, 2015, from going too hard, too far, burning every candle, not taking care of myself physically or mentally, any of that. Physical breakdown 1 year, followed by complete nervous breakdown, and like had to change my whole life. And it did. And in many ways, in the long run, positively. But there's a little bit of a trauma hangover that is, I now have this constant, and despite years of therapy, constant kind of fear of stepping too far, and potentially putting myself back in a path that I don't trust I can get out of if I begin to overdo it. And there's this sense of like, I'm aware I'm much more sensitive to the grind than that led to the nervous breakdown. And so now, like, my nervous system is very quick to like activate when it even falsely perceives that is what's happening. And then like kind of a psychological impediment to sometimes moving forward or taking action or taking leaps that probably in the long run would be a better and would improve me personally or professionally. There's this kind of rising tide that says like, oh, whoa, we're going to drown again. Don't do that. Yeah, like, let's not do that. Let's go this way.
Mhm. Yeah, that's such an amazing share. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Debbie said here in the Instagram live, trauma hangover, right? And this happens so much with us humans. It with all of us. Okay, literally, as I speak to everyone, we have this pattern that we attach past to future, and we tend to um use the past as evidence, as factual evidence that will predict the future. But the reality is we change and we grow and we learn and we interrupt patterns, and we're never the same exact person as that person was. So it is 100% real that we feel this way, this anxiety, because our mind is set to do this, to say, look what happened, so you better fucking watch out. And that is a self-protective mechanism, and it is 100% normal and to be expected. And then the question is, how do we dig into that a little bit with compassion and love, and build that self-trust muscle, and build that ability to say, but that's not evidence that's predicting the future. That's just the past. The two don't have to be equivalent, or the two don't have to be so tightly aligned. And I think that's a trap that we fall in a lot, is like, well, it went terribly before, so it's gonna go terribly again. And that's where we have to interrupt that and say, actually, that's not, is that really factually true? Is it? Because we are different. We are different people. We learned from that. We gathered mechanisms and tools, and we've grown, and we've, like, built our squads. And there's so many things that we may have done differently than where we were at that time, not to mention just time and wisdom and age, right? Like, these things change us on another level. So I really appreciate that share. Does anyone else? Actually, no. Debbie did share one in the chat as well. So I'm gonna come to Debbie. She said self-doubt. And absolutely, Debbie, that is a huge one that so many of us have, and myself included. I deal with this a lot. And again, like for me, and I'd love to know kind of a little bit more, if you want to elaborate a little bit more. For me, self-doubt comes from that same brain mechanisms that's saying, well, where's, like, what is the proof to say that you can do this? Instead of saying, where's the proof to say that I can't do it? My brain says, what makes you think you can? But we need to flip that and say, well, what makes you think I can't? Like, we need to pattern interrupt and insert ourselves and start digging into the evidence again, and asking, like, well, what do I actually want to believe here? And where are these stories coming from, right? There's real stories, patterns, systems in play that are meant to make us doubt ourselves, that are meant to exclude us, so that by proxy we doubt ourselves and our worthiness of being in the space, or at the table, or in the arena to even begin with. So those are some of the reasons that I can think of, that lend to self-doubt. Does anyone else want to share any of the like limitations or anything like that trip you up or get in your way? Debbie said, yes, get curious about where the doubt is coming from. Absolutely. Absolutely. When we can identify where it's coming from, that gives us power over it. And it gives us power to dig in a little bit further and have that kind of that more awareness about it, right? Amazing. Mine definitely come from old stories that aren't even mine. 100%. 100%. Thank you, Debbie, for sharing. Most of the time, it's not what we really want to believe. It's just what's there. It's what's available. It's what we've been told. It's what we've been fed. It's like, it's just autopilot. And then when we think and when we stop and we say, but how do I want to feel? This isn't how I want to feel. This feels bad. This doesn't feel empowering. So how do I want to feel instead? Most of the time it's like, oh, right, like, I am capable. I do want to feel powerful, right? And then reframing those thoughts and those limitations. So I'm getting I'm getting ahead of myself. So how do you folks transcend those limitations in your own lives and businesses? What do you do to overcome them? We're bringing the heat today, y'all. Sunny.
I'm thinking about the support systems we build, right? Because as I was like thinking about my limit, like some of my limitations tend to be really rooted in, when Debbie was saying other stories that have nothing like to do with us, I'm like, it's the people that I surround myself with, right? And so if like people around me are kind of saying you can't do that or blah blah blah, all that stuff, the same way, there are just some people you can't get rid of, right? There's some people where it's like, all right, but that's my family who I love. I'm not going to like cut you off, right? But then placing a focus on who you add to your team, right? So who you add to your squad helps me kind of go, okay, yeah, I got that negative feedback, but there are 3 people in my squad right now who are saying otherwise. And so leaning on the support systems that I've built.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And when we choose to keep certain relationships that aren't, as positive, it's really helpful when we can discuss that and bring that to our group that's more supportive to help us not let that seep in, like to kind of help us process that and remind us, like, but that's not you. Like, that's them. That's not you. I love it. Squad is massive. It's so huge to our ability to transcend the bullshit. Right? So good. Thank you. Does anyone have any other ways? I think Lauren, yeah.
Yeah, along the same lines, I was gonna say for me, sometimes I just have to withdraw. It's
Mm,
like a kind of like a elimination diet where you just like cut everybody, but
yeah.
then you like slowly add people back in. You're like, does this feel good? If it doesn't, like, nope, you gotta go. Nope, I'm not ready for you yet. Like, oh, like just dealing. Yeah, like just taking a step back, even if it's family. Like, you guys are not exempt. You are actually probably at the top of the list. Yeah, like check in with the people who like historically have made you like feel good. They lift you up, and it's like it's but a two-way street, and just go from there. So yeah, along the same line.
Love that. And that brings me right back to unapologetic day, right? And when we talked about boundaries and all that, it's just unapologetically doing that, right? You owe nobody anything. You just need to stay true to yourself and do what you need to do to get over the shit that's trying to hold you back. I love that. Perfect. Anybody else want to share some transcendence techniques that you have? Lynn, Debbie, if you're still there in the Instagram. No worries if not. Also, if I keep going and you think of something, you can always drop it in the chat and in the comment section, okay? So there's a couple things that I want to ask you all. And that's, I'd love to hear, like, what do you want? Share with me some big picture, juicy desires and things that are on your horizon that you're really excited about and that you want to bring in to your reality.
Okay. So I just did my tarot like
Yeah.
not that long ago. And one of the things that has been showing up in my cards was like being a visionary, right? And kind of like being able to see things that maybe other folks don't see, right? Or being able to just like tap into like different realities, right? And so it was a nice way of grounding me and like, yeah, there's always been like visions I've had of like being part of a movement, right? Especially for queer and trans folks and Black women, right? Like that feels so important. And so, fuck, I'm forgetting your question. Oh, what do you want? What do you want? Yes,
Yeah.
right. I'm like
Yes.
queer and trans liberation through wealth building, right? Like I want Black women to be wealthy as fuck. I want queer and trans people to have economic power so that we can shift like legislature and so we can be happy and comfortable. You know what I mean? I'm like, first,
Yes.
I like nice things, okay? I want to be comfortable as fuck because if we're trying to be part of that revolution, I can't be out here fucking tired and broke, you
Yeah.
know? And so it's just kind of like, first and foremost, I want to have that kind of piece of like comfort, right? Like, we can't be activists and be this tight, and that's by design, right? Activists are always burnt out because one, we're broke and we're taught that it's noble to like be broke, right? And so for me, it's like I want to be wealthy. I want my folks to be wealthy. And yeah, it's just like let's I can't I can't work on anything less than that, right? It's just kind of like that has to be it. And like it doesn't feel like the work is ever done, right? Because until we're all free, until we all have that wealth, then like we just keep going. And so yes, wanting that wealth, wanting that comfort to like always be a part of that movement.
Ooh, yes. I don't know where my other one is. I'm supposed to have two, but it's okay. Yay! I love that. You know, I just connected. I'll have to connect you. I just connected last night with someone who has a vision of uh get this, buying a private island off the coast of Canada. Hold on, it gets better. It gets fucking better. Are you ready for this? Okay. Getting this island and making it a trans care haven, like where people from all over the world can come and get affirming trans healthcare. How fucking amazing is that? The people that I like have in my network and in my sphere, I'm just like consistently blown away. Consistently. Yes. Thank you for sharing that, Sunny. I'll have to connect you with her because you know, coming from like wealth and then coming and health, it's like, so good. So, so good. All right. Who else wants to share something that they want to cultivate or create or bring to life or whatever it is? Flynn, I know you mentioned earlier in this week something about an app, and I'm like, I'm interested to know like more because you said it was different and it like, you know, it wasn't your normal dog minding app, and I'm like so curious to know like what are you envisioning, but no pressure, but I'd love to hear.
I wish it was as grand as an app, though I don't know if I would ever need to create an app.
Oh, sorry.
No. I'm just trying to think. I was like, but I think what it is if I'm thinking correctly, which is always questionable. I think I was probably referring to an exploration of changing. So right now, clients pay packages. They prepay for either automated scheduling at a frequency of a month, 2 weeks, or they buy a volume of a package that then they just use as needed. And what I was looking to change was potentially structuring something more aligned with like Aaron Hagg's, give yourself a raise kind of book about, in this case, specifically something more of like a membership model where they pay to have access of a frequency per month, per week.
Okay.
And then anything they want in addition to that, they then would pay, add on after the fact. But it's like a default, like a gym membership. You use the gym, you don't use the gym, that's on you, but you're still paying your fucking $90, right? Or whatever you're paying. Which is very much how my gym gets my money. I'm like, all these classes are amazing. I'm totally gonna go. I never go, but they still get my $90 a month. And so this is a little bit in that vein of taking Aaron Hagg's kind of book and taking Alex Tramosi, who wrote $100 Million Offers. If you haven't listened or read his book, highly fucking recommend. It's not too dissimilar to things we've been hearing about in the club and by others. The idea of, create something that is so good someone can't, like someone would feel stupid to say no.
Yeah.
Right? That's the fundamentals of everything. So yeah, so that's, and I guess like where that is in terms of the bigger question you asked about manifesting or things like that, like I feel like in this constant struggle financially, and this gets a little bit to like I think what you were saying, you know, when you're too broken, too tired, you just can't show up on the level you would personally prefer to be showing up. And I don't mean that in like an excessive self-sacrificing. You just, I feel like everything is a conservation of resources, or it's kind of like well, fuck it, I'll deal with the problem tomorrow, and the problem tomorrow is a lot bigger now. And so I think all like this perspective exploration of membership packages, a monthly membership kind of subscription that stabilizes predictable cash flow, based on an offer of experience versus unit, is trying to get at, is my system that I'm currently doing really serving me and my business the best? Or could I structure and create something that, in terms of the deliverables on my part, is sustainable, but more so importantly, people would say yes to it to in order to create a stabilized cash flow, which more importantly then puts me back in a place, ideally, where I'm not, you know, like right now I joke, everything is 60 days behind. And I literally mean that. Like every bill, my mortgage, my HOA, everything in my life, like paying somebody back for a loan, everything is kind of like in the 60-day cycle. And I'm just like, bitch, just give me 30 days. Like first goal, get me 30 days behind.
Yes.
Then get me like on time, not even like trying to be overly lofty of like, I want to get ahead, because it's like, no,
Baby
I need
steps.
to step into these next stages. What are things that are lofty, going back to what I said at the beginning of this call, but not like overly ambitious that it makes it too murky to see the path and to take the steps. So I think that that's like what I'm trying to probably like envision, manifest, or bring forward, is like, I'm not showing up in my own life or in my like family, chosen or literal, or interpersonal, or in my community the way I'd like. Because I'm so in this conservation of resources, because there literally fucking isn't any resources. Not like I'm afraid interpersonally. It's not like I legit fucking can't. So if you can't, it makes everything so small and isolating. So the envisionment is like, what can I do, taking these kind of, exploring these kind of maybe alternative structures, so that I can bring more resources and therefore then more liberty to be bigger in my own life, but also in the lives of those that matter, my communities that matter.
Yes, absolutely. That's what Sunny was saying, and it's so true, right? Like the amount that we pour in to ourselves and that we have poured into us affects the amount that we can pour into others. And when we're in conservation mode, we're not really in pouring mode, right? It's really hard to do that. I just want to say, I don't even have a dog, but I love that membership idea. I really like, it just gave me this sense of like, I'm taken care of. Like, I don't have to worry. It's set up. And especially as a business owner, right? It's like my dog, I don't have a dog, but my dog is going to get cared for and loved, and I can keep doing my thing, and I'm not worrying, and I'm not forgetting to set up the dog walker and then stressing out. Like there's just, I'm really excited about that model. So please, please, please keep me updated on how that goes. I'm excited. I don't know where I got the app from. Don't ask me where I got that. I don't know. I'm sorry. I really thought you said something about an app. I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you.
We use like a software. So maybe that's like, if I'd reference like the Time to Pet app, which is an app facing part of the software that our clients use.
I manifest app for you.
An app for me. God help me, no, please don't. No manifesting a fucking app. Like let IT tech people make that money. Let me make money on the backs of pet owners who want to fucking love their pets better than children. Leave the apps for somebody else.
I went through like this whole thing for you because at ROI they're doing this thing called like Schmilly Tank, where like they're gonna be allowing people to pitch, and I was like, Tina can pitch her app to the investor. I wonder if there's something.
Oh, I
So,
love that. Thank you.
and
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah, I think that'd be more like, who wants to help me write like children's books based on animal stories from my entire like lifetime of the strange and bizarre snippets of when you've experienced over 1,000 dogs and cats in your life, and you don't work in rescue.
yeah, I love that. That we can manifest that too. That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, Sonny.
Thank you for sharing. We are holding the space for you, and it's all about the realness. We're not here pulling any wool over anyone's eyes. We are here for the realness. So thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing. We all go through versions of the similar, unless you're extremely lucky and somehow just like, I don't even know. I don't even know. We're not talking about that because I don't know. Lauren, do you have a desire, or do you want to share what you want, or a vision of what you want, or something that we can sit in for a moment and celebrate and get excited about?
Yes, I do. And okay, so I have a I have an e-commerce children's store. But I'm a nurse in real life. I'm actually at work right now.
In
But
real
like,
life.
yeah, I'm a nurse. I'm not I don't do patient care. I'm at my desk. Like, here's my keyboard. You can hear it here. But I don't touch people anymore. But my dream is to open a children's store. Like, that is the dream, and that is what I'm gonna make happen in 2024. I just like to summarize my life in the last 6 months, got divorced, sold my childhood home. I'm making a not a very large profit, but I'm making a profit from this home. And a portion of that profit I'm going to use to open this children's store.
Oh,
So I just had an inspection yesterday for the house. And so hopefully I'm like waiting on the results of this inspection so that, we can close, sign on the dotted line, please, so I can move on with my life. But my goal is to open this children's store, but it's not, I was just looking at like, I'm driving around now looking at like for lease spaces, but it has to be big, that it has a space. I say an event space, but it's going to be a community space.
oh,
Because like as a parent,
yes.
or now as a single parent of two young kids, like we all grow, whether you're a single parent or just a parent, like we all go through the same things, but like why do we go through them alone? Like
Right.
I saw this TikTok recently, and it was just like we all go through the same things. Like she's like, I'm just gonna start dating other moms. Like we're just gonna come together and have this little mom community,
Yep.
because like we all need the same thing. So why don't we just come together and help each other out? So I really want to, yeah. And it's like, why is it designed for us to do this shit alone? Like this is not okay. Like, oh, it's just part of the struggle. No, fuck that. I'm not trying to
Oh,
struggle out here.
no.
And I'm not trying to pass that on to my kids either. Like, why are we struggling when she's struggling? I'm struggling. We could struggle together, but
Yes.
or we could come together and help each other. So I
Yes.
really want this store, like, more than just products, because we live in such a capitalistic, like, I'm also like trying to battle capitalism, but like provide things like that you actually not need to raise your kid, because there's people in third world countries that don't need like wooden puzzles and like stuff like that. But like not that those plastic fantastic noise, like I'm a quality and safety nurse, so everything's going to be based in quality, safety, things that help make parenting easier, and have this community space where we can have classes, have events, whether they're just like events for you to come have a safe place to bring your kids and feel comfortable letting your kid, like, people apologize for their kids' behavior. Like, no, like this is your kid can be wild, like bring the ADHD kids with the sugar filled, like bring all the kids. Like
Bring all
we're doing all the things. This is for the kids. Like touch all the things, but also events where it's like moms only. Don't bring those kids. We don't like fuck them kids. We don't want to see them kids. Like, so we're gonna have balance, but we're gonna create a safe place for parents to come and bring their children, and it's gonna give like luxury resort vibes because I'm half Belizean. So we're just it's gonna be great. I'm super excited about it. So that's what I'm working on. And also
Oh,
like this job, I don't want to be here in this basement of this hospital anymore. So
let's get out of that basement.
right. I'm in Michigan, Sunny, so that's like my next goal, to try to figure out where my store is gonna be, because I'm like Metro Detroit. So I'm super excited too. But also like, ooh, I'm telling people about my dreams. Ooh.
That's the first step.
I
That is the
know.
first step, and that is why we are here.
Yes.
Woo! Yes.
Thank you.
I'm such a good evil genius. I love it.
We love you for it. Yes.
No, but really, I'm almost like on the verge of tears because, as you know, Lauren, I was a doula. I was a student midwife. I was a doula. I'm a parent. I have gone through these things not only for myself but with my clients in the past, and so I feel this on another level, and I'm so excited for your community and the people that are going to benefit from this. I know I would have loved it. And I had a little glimpse, a little snapshot, and then COVID happened. So that was fun. But we, even though, like, even when we're out of the baby stage, there's always going to be that need for community. It doesn't end just because your
Nope.
baby grows into a child and whatever, like, it doesn't end. It's still the need for that camaraderie, and that sharing of resources and that coming together. I don't know if you've seen the Blue Zone documentary, and it's not specifically about parents. It's about like aging past like to 100. And community, no surprise here, is a big part of that. And that ability to like share resources, lean on each other, like just have social time, just hang out, like all of these things are such an important part of longevity and like enjoying the quality of life. Like, we are social creatures. There's no running from that, although our society, our hyper productive society, will try and convince us that we can do it. It's so much better when we do it with others. So I am so excited. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your dreams and your missions. And I had us do that because it helps so much when shit gets in the way and things get tough and things get hard and the things are getting in the way and fears and limiting beliefs and all that thing. It's always crucial to remind ourselves of the why and the what. Like, what the fuck do I want? What am I doing this all for? What is it that I want? How is this going to impact people and animals and all of the thing, right? This is so crucial to our transcendence above the shit, right? So that is really important to go over. And I have some things that I also wanted to share, but I don't know. We've already done like a really good job here of going through like what's getting in our way, what do we want, and how we're going to transcend. We've talked about squad. We've talked about like that mindset work of digging into the evidence and finding the evidence. So not only the evidence that supports the limiting belief, which usually there isn't factual evidence. We think there is based on past, but it's not actually fact that determines the future. But then I also want us to remember to find the facts in our favor, right? Because I believe there are facts there, right? There are facts that we can find that support the fact that we will transcend and we can transcend and we are strong and capable and driven. We just might need to reframe something or get a little creative or, tap into our network or our resources and figure out a way, but we have to remember to find that evidence in support of us. And magically, we usually have way more evidence to support our strength and our badassery versus the evidence to support the limiting belief or the fear. So that's very exciting. And another thing that can help us transcend, and it was mentioned already on this call with Tina, when you were talking about like, first I want to go to 30 days, then I want to go to on time. And then there's that, it's baby steps, right? And it's what can we do little by little, because it can get overwhelming really fast, especially when there's things going on in the world that are immensely tragic, and things and systems of repression and things that are horrifying, absolutely horrifying. It can just add to the weight of what we're doing and how are we doing it and what are we doing here. And so breaking it down into what can I do today and what habits can I do today that just get me that one baby step closer to next time. Or if there's something that I'm afraid of, like, what can I do? What action can I take that's just a baby step version that I could fathom doing it, that gets me on the path and in the direction, right? And sometimes that's reaching out to your squad and saying, I am struggling. Okay, like that was me this week. Like, I don't know what I need, but I need something. So that could be a baby step, right? Anything that just puts you, there's that one move, because that, even those baby steps, is still keeping you going and still keeping some kind of movement and momentum happening, and it's not stopping the train. Then you have to like feel like you have to start the train moving and chugging all over again. The other thing to remember is what is the fear and the way that it's like stopping us from doing something that we want. Like, what is that costing us? And then what, conversely, like, what would the opportunity give us? What would doing the thing lead to and give us? And doing that kind of exploration can be super powerful as well, to remind us of, oh yeah, this is costing me dollars on the table. This is costing me my mental health. This is costing me relationships. This is, XYZ. There's lots of things that can get pulled into the mix. And then when we think about the opportunity, there's also so much opportunity and potential there when we just give it some space and some thought and some time to think about. And so as we build our businesses, it's so incredibly important to just keep giving ourselves the space to explore these questions and not get like super, super caught up in like the busyness, but give ourselves that space to remember what opportunities we want and what opportunities exist that will really move us forward and keep us going. And transcending, because that's what we're talking about today. Yay. Okay, so that is I had more, but it's fine. I want to celebrate some wins, okay? Because today is the finale, and it would not be a finale if we didn't acknowledge the wins of the past 2 weeks. And I'm dying to hear what wins have come through for you, any new perspectives you've gleaned, anything that has come from, and like, how have you CUNTY-fyed your life in a way? Like, share the wins, everybody, please and thank you. Don't all jump at it at once, though.
I think for me, I mean, coming to this challenge, for one, I can never commit to things that are like, especially 2 weeks, right? And for you, it just felt like, oh yeah, let's do that thing, right? There were a couple days where I just straight up couldn't. But I think every day that I showed up and I heard other people's stories, right? Especially today, I'm like, oh my God, these visions are so exciting, right? But like, it's just such a nice reminder. Entrepreneurship is really lonely, right? And especially when you have visions of like, oh, this shit hasn't been done before. You don't have people modeling this shit, right? And so even if we don't have the same ideas and the exact same like thing to execute, one that's great, right? Because we all bring in different things. There's just like companionship that I've also gotten in this challenge of just like, oh shit, I see you, right? And I feel seen in like we're not as alone as we think, right? And so Lauren, I also just think it's incredible that you're doing this for moms, right? Because by design, moms are designed to like be exhausted, be burnt out, and be lonely in the process, right? And be isolated. And so from what I've heard everyone share, there's like this community care that keeps coming up of like I am passionate about taking care of my communities in this way, and it feels great to just be like, okay, we're all doing some shit. We feel, you know, in our little islands, but we come to spaces like this and we get to like be seen. So thank you for creating the space, boo.
It's so exciting. And as you said, I just want to say, like, as you said, moms, it's been designed for moms to do it like largely alone. It's not a coincidence, as we all know. And it's just funny because like they don't know what's coming. You know what I mean? Like the patriarchy better fucking watch out, because once like parents are powerful as fuck. And once they come together, there's like it's powerful. So patriarchy, watch the fuck out. Yay! Who else wants to share some wins? Tina, hit us up.
I think for me, I think what's been great about the last 2 weeks coming into this is, you know, it's so easy for us. And I think it goes back to what Jasani and you've said, we've all said, you know, that entrepreneurship is isolating. So you do get caught in your silo, you get caught in your woes and your endeavors and your wins and your losses. And, you know, and in terms of like community and people you can rely on, but also recognizing like, you don't have, you know, I don't know, like I have a couple entrepreneurial small business friends, but you know, COVID has taken like harmed us and empowered us in different ways as a result that we're not really as much of a tribe. So you have like, you don't get to have that same like, oh, I'm killing it today. And I got to vibe with someone who's like, I don't care, I'm not killing it, but I'm here to vibe with you about you killing it. And conversely, the other side being like, all right, like, let's hear it. Come on, vent, process, share. Like, you're not here. Like, so I think like the biggest thing is being able to come into a space where it really is about setting aside, getting to set aside that time and getting to be introspective and getting to kind of bring some of these topics and conversations that aren't necessarily like super deep and hidden, but they're very easy not to be thinking about in your day to day, as opposed to like, you know, having these conversations. And then it's kind of rippling in the back of my mind as I'm going about my day or as I'm having conversations, because those things have been nicely kind of brought up to the surface. So it's a little bit like in the spring where if you're doing it right, you haven't raked the leaves, but you now need to loosen it all up so things from underneath can come through. And it's a little bit like that. It's like, it's easy to sit on top of like the concrete and the plaque and the like pounded down things and forget to like turn up your garden, make sure that there's room for things to breathe through. And no puns intended of the any other version of that. And so yeah, I think that that's been my biggest takeaway is like, you know, we're not in here talking shop in the sense of like, all right, where's everyone's progress today on their like $1 million offer, you know, kind of thing. And instead it's about thinking the things that keep us going, that motivate us, but also the things that might be, you know, are set up like emotionally. I didn't catch all that, Sunny. I'll go back to the chat in a sec. But like, yeah, I think it's really been that about just having some of these more interpersonally important and emotionally valuable things, so that it softens us in a way that actually strengthens us.
Yes. Woo! Ooh, yes. Yes. I love it. Ah, yes. I love it so much because this is the Cunty mission, right? We're doing things differently here. This is not just any entrepreneurial space. This is a space that celebrates the human complexity and all that we bring to the table and all that, we carry, and it acknowledges us all. And it's not meant to downplay or push aside or compact down. It's meant to just for us to embrace it all and see what we can dig up, right? And see what we can breathe into and allow space for. So that makes me so happy that really manifested itself for you these past 2 weeks. I'm so glad. So beautiful. It's so beautiful. Y'all are gonna have me crying. All right, Lauren.
So, like same sentiments everybody else shared in this past, like I mentioned, selling my childhood home. Like my family is pissed. Like, yeah. So like it's been very lonely and isolating, not talking to my family just because I need space I need to give them space so that they can deal with what they need to work through to make this okay. But also like again, coming together and having that sense of community, the reminder that like we're all dealing with our own shit. But hey, this is how Sunny's going through it. This is how Tina's like, this is how we're all working through it. And then just a reminder, like, let's come together because we have to remind each other we have that cunty energy and we will transcend above the bullshit, all above all of it. So yes, all the things.
Yeah. Transcend above the bullshit. I adore you all. Thank you for loving up on my goofy weirdness and being in this incredible space. This is like community is the biggest reason why I led this challenge. So I'm so glad that my intention like worked. Okay, that happened and that was cultivated here. That makes me just so incredibly happy. And so that's a huge win for me. Like I'm celebrating the fuck out of coming here and creating this space and this container that met the intention, right? It doesn't matter what I expected or what I thought it was going to be. Like that doesn't even matter. What really matters is that what I truly wanted, why I set out to create this challenge in the first place was met. You folks are here. There are people who also have been like participating in other ways, whether it's on the IG live or whether it's watching the replays, like whatever it is, people got what they needed. And that makes me so happy. And I'm just celebrating the shit out of all of you. And we've created and fostered such beautiful like relationships here, and we've deepened them, and we've gotten to know each other better, and we've explored these like parts of our humanity and this cunty energy that we will keep with us as we move through and like go into winter. Because another thing I really wanted was for us not to go into hibernation and just let our dreams and our goals and our energy just like totally leave us, right? I really wanted, and in community, that's like the best thing to do is to do this like this community gathering. There's a reason why people always do these like harvests or fall gatherings or like late summer gatherings. It's to galvanize each other going into the more like cold, the more whatever you want to call it, that season that is a little bit hard, that can be a little bit harder. We do it in community and we galvanize each other. So this absolutely did that. And that makes me just so incredibly happy. And just to see you all like being in the space and smiling and enjoying and engaging with the content and, indulging in the questions that I've been bringing and doing this inquiry, it just means so much because it's one thing to participate to come or to watch. It's a whole nother thing to actually engage and like participate and do it, right? And that's what creates the most transformation. So yay for you all. I'm excited. So this is it for our challenge. You fucking did it. It wouldn't be fair if I didn't give you at least an opportunity to continue to work with me, because that would just be like, how you just like leave me like that? That's not nice. I know I wouldn't like that. So what I did was I'm taking like a large amount off of my offerings. So I have like a one-off power session to really take the energy that we've got this week and create an action plan to move forward. That's called the Lube Your Life session. That's 90 minutes. And we go through the 3 pillars of my framework, and we acknowledge, we activate, and then we get accountable, and we create a plan for all of that. And then, so the normal price is $333. I slashed it, so it's now 111 plus tax, and that's euros, which is very similar to US dollars. It's like just a little bit different. So that's the Lube Your Life session. And then I have coaching retainers, right? So a little bit more ongoing, a little bit more like growth mindset basis, business growth, life growth, all those kinds of things. It starts at $444 per month. And what I did was I made it tiered pricing so that it depends on your revenue level, because it frustrates me to no end when someone who's making $1 million pays the same for a business coach that someone who is new in business pays for a business coach. Like that just doesn't sit well for me. So I'm doing a tiered pricing. It starts at $444 per month if you are at like between 0 and 25K. And then the levels go up from there. And that's for 2 60-minute calls per month. And then there's a VIP package that starts at $9.99. And that includes Voxer support. And there's 3 days per week that are like themed. So one of the days is like a setup call, or not a call, Voxer, where we talk about like, what are you setting up for this week? What are your goals? What are you got on your horizon? What are your action steps that you want to take this week? Keeping you accountable. Wednesdays to check in, to be like, so how's it going? Like, did we fall off, or how are we keeping that going? And then Friday is for celebrating and wins and all of that good stuff. So those are the regular prices, and it would not be fair if I didn't give y'all like some kind of additional discount, because y'all have been showing the fuck up. So let me see. I'm gonna share my screen real quick because it's just easier. Okay, can y'all see that? Yes. Okay, there's another thing too. It's retreat packages, because I have my Cunty retreat coming up in June of 2024 in Portugal, sunny South Portugal, the villa and everything. It's just stunning and inspiring. And I really want to bring in people who are very excited about the Cunty model and who are already embodying it, but even want to like embody it even more and in community. So these are the retreat prices for shared room, $695 a month over a year. And then the private room is $11.95 per month over the year. And that gets you access to the retreats. And so what I can do is I can slash 111 off of every single price that you are going to see on this sheet. That's what I can do for challenge participants. So you got these. There's also the coaching options that I talked about. So the Lube Your Life, it's 222 off. So that's 111 for the breakthrough session. These are the coaching retainers I talked about. So we can take 111 off of those. And again, it's tiered pricing, right? So we would talk about what your revenue is at, and then we'd go from there. And then there's hybrid options. Thank you, Sunny. We talked about this last week, and I'm like, I better make sure to include that. And this is coaching plus retreat. And it's starting at $9.99 per month for the kind of the more essential package of coaching. So you don't get the Voxer. This is kind of the essential package. And then there's the VIP that includes the Voxer chat. And of course, these are starting because it's also shared room, and there's the opportunity to upgrade to private room as well. So this is the pricing starting for shared rooms and for the first tier of the pricing. And again, we can take 111 off of any of the prices that you see here. And I will also send this out after, because I'm not in the, I didn't want to create like a sense of urgency where, you know, you have to make a decision or anything like that. I just wanted to present the options and see what felt good, see if you have any questions that I can answer right now. But then give you that time to think about it and let it soak in and see what would even be possible or feasible, or what would be within the realm of possibility for you. And then we can always we can set up a call or talk further on a different call. So if anybody has any questions about the offerings, yay, I'm glad you love them. I love them too. It made me really happy to decide to do the tiered, again, because I'm just like, it doesn't feel right to me. Like when we're starting out, you know, and as we grow, like it didn't make sense to charge the same. So I'm really glad you love it. And I'm really just so thrilled that you all are you've CUNTY-fyed your life this week and the past 2 weeks. So celebrate your damn self. Okay. This weekend, I hope you do something that just reminds you of how fucking badass you are and how capable and strong and loved that you are, right? The retreat is going to have a group chat. So we're going to be able to pour into each other. That's really exciting. And start to plan and all that jazz. But I really celebrate all of you. And if you're already coming to the retreat, I don't know, is Lauren still? Yeah, Lauren's still on here. So if you already are coming to the retreat, then we can talk separately about like what that would mean for you if you've already purchased your ticket. Yeah, I can't wait, everybody. Like this is really exciting for me. Does anyone have any final questions, comments, concerns, anything like that?
I'm just here to say you're all rock stars. We're all rock stars.
Yes, I love that. I received that. Thank you. Anyone else before I'm gonna have withdrawal next week, y'all. I'm serious. I was like borderline considering just making this a thing. And I'm just like, okay, hold on. Like, relax. Okay. Relax. Oh, I love you all. Let me know. You always have my email. You have my Instagram. Just like reach out to me with anything. Always. You are welcome here. You are loved. You are celebrated. I can't say that enough. This has been such an immense pleasure and just like an honor. Honor is the word. So you're so welcome for this space. It's been amazing. Thank you all so much. And don't forget to celebrate this weekend. I'm serious, okay? In whatever way that you can, honestly. That would make me very happy. Yay! Bye, everybody.